fight like a roaring fight, crypto and dreams under stadium lights, sweat and fire, hearts ignite. Evening sports buffet.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Thursday.
Highlights while scores collide. It's the Riot Live tonight.
Welcome to another edition of Early Evening Sports Buffet with the Ginch. I'm the Ginch. I'm next here in the Polk County Entertainment Network. Thanks to the Ginch Quartet there for the intro. But without further ado, let's bring him on. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Seth Greenberg. You know him from ESPN. I'm just going to read this off the X. At Seth on Hoops, ESPN college basketball analyst, two-time ACC Coach of the Year, husband to the Queen, by the way, father of three wonderful girls, pizza expert, avid golfer, walker of Jake the Wonder Dog. Coach, thanks so much for coming on.
My pleasure. How you doing?
Good. So let's just delve into it here. Well, first, I need to get your thoughts of the expansion of the college basketball tournament. I think it's kind of ridiculous. Like I had Billis on here about a month ago. He said that really the tournament doesn't start till Thursday for him. He'll still watch. But what are your thoughts on the expansion?
I disagree with Jay because the teams that are going to be playing those first few days, the tournament starts for them, and it's going to be an incredible experience for them. And if you think about the number of teams that play Division I college basketball, I think it's 363 right now. And if you think about the number of different leagues, and if you think about these monster conferences with 16, 18, and 20 teams, well, if you're in a conference with 18 teams, all right, you're not getting four teams in the NCAA tournament because that's a bad return on your investment. So, like we can be all, oh, it's going to ruin the tournament. They said that when it went from 16 to 32 to 48 to 64 to 65 to 68. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know what that noise is. A really bad noise in your background, by the way.
Oh, I don't know.
But anyway, the way I look at it is, if you're going to give more young people a chance to experience playing in the tournament, you're also going to give all those one bid leagues. You're going to have six first. In the dirty dozen or whatever they're going to call it, six of those games are going to be the lowest 12 ranked teams, RPI teams. So six of those leagues are going to get a second unit. Six of those leagues are going to make another check, and then you're going to get the bottom. You're going to get the bottom, 12 teams that are going to that made the tournament. Well, a lot of them major conference teams, a lot of teams that are going to be saying, well, what is it? Oh, the team has 500 record in the league. Yeah, because if you play in the SEC and the Big 10 and the Big 12, it's not easy to be a 500 team in the league. You might even have a below 500 record in your league because the leagues are that good. It's that hard to win. You can still be a really good basketball team. In the end, it's who can you beat? Not who you lost to, but who can you beat? If you've proven you can beat elite teams, that's the way it is. So for all the people that are losing their minds, that's great. You can lose your mind all you want. It's perfect. There's nothing that's perfect. And, I think actually those early games are going to be really exciting and really interesting and really competitive. And you're going to get the best of the one bid leagues into the field of 64, which is really ideally the best thing that could happen. So, everyone, it's a lot about nothing. People are going to watch. People are going to bet on it. The passion's going to be there. And by the way, any kid that plays in those first 2 days, all right, they're in the NCAA tournament, and you can't convince them they're not.
Right. Let's jump into some bigger, deeper issues, namely NIL, transfer portal, XYZ. Look, what can we do? I don't agree with transfer portal, NIL. Once they open Pandora's box, they cannot close it anymore. And I asked Billis this: did the powers that be, NCAA, college presidents, college ADs, did they not think or come up with different scenarios that we're seeing now before they went ahead with all this?
I can't speak for other people. The game has changed significantly. The business of college basketball has changed significantly. The money's changed significantly. All those things have added up. It's easy on the outside looking. You have all the answers until you're held accountable. It's like it's easy to watch a game on TV and criticize a coach, but you've never sat in that guy's shoes. So it's easy. Everyone's got all the answers, all right? But all the answers, it's just not that easy. It's just not that easy. And like, so, oh, there's so much money. Well, if there's so much money, then why are schools dropping sports? Oh, they're paying the coaches so much money. The coaches aren't coaches; they're ambassadors. They're the face of an institution. Athletic director just today, the new athletic director at Kentucky is making $3 million a year. He's managing he's underpaid for managing the budget that he has to manage in terms of probably Kentucky's budget athletically and managing all the head coaches and all the sports and fundraising and compliance and everything else that goes around it. So, yeah, I mean, could they done something sooner? Yeah, everyone has the answers after the fact. All right, but when you're living in that moment, it's not that easy. Now, look, I think we're talking about 5-year clock. I think I like the 5-year clock. I think the 19-year age group, that's great. I think we've got to treat international players just like the American players. All right. I think it's the absurdity of, players, I want to go and be a pro. All right. I don't want to go to college. Oh, but now there's more money in it. Oh, and now I want to go to college. But do you want to go to college or you just want the money? All right. I mean, you got, and then, but the same thing with the international players. The international players are signing contracts. They're getting paid. And if you're in the Euro League, you're playing in the second best league in all of basketball, maybe the third if you include college basketball. And you're getting paid. Even if a guy's in the Euro League, he's making $20,000 a month. Let's not fool ourselves. All right. So that's where you chose to go. And so, well, we didn't have any other options. You had other options, but you decided to play for your club team and then go from your club team to be a pro. We've got to treat the international players no differently than the American players. Now, you can't do it in reverse, but from this moment forward, you've got to do that. But guys going to the G League and realizing they're not NBA players, here, the player, look, we need to take care of the players and we need to pay the players. That's great. I understand that. But the but is, if a guy goes overseas, if a guy goes and plays, is not an NBA player. His next contract, after making $6 million a year, $4 million a year, $2 million a year, or whatever he's making in college, he's going. What's his value in the G League? What's his value overseas? Well, if his value isn't commensurate with what he's making here in the States, then what is the vehicle that's enabled him to make these huge amounts of money? And that's the name on the front of the jersey. That's the enterprise of college basketball. And yeah, these contracts are these league contracts are a lot of money, and we should find a way to do it. But we've got to have some guidelines, guardrails in place, and they're trying to get that done. To me, it's just unrealistic. I'm not sure it's sustainable. There is not enough money, and yeah, the coaches are getting paid, and the administrators are getting paid. I think private equity comes in; they'll probably chop some of the athletic department sizes, but we've got to find a way to have contracts and have buyouts. Like, hey, I've changed jobs. Coaches can change jobs. Yeah, they can, and then you pay a buyout. When you change jobs, you pay a buyout. That's just the way it is. Why do you sign a contract? So let's sign a contract. All right, let's have buyouts in the contract. It's plain and simple. Let's find a way to get the 2-year contracts minimum. So if you're 2-year contract, there's some continuity. Now, if that player wants to leave prior to that, all right, they have to buy it out. And we can find ways to do it there. But I like the 5-year rule. I think we got to treat the international players like American players. I don't think it's fair to the American players. We've got to find a way to put education back in the equation. Like right now, education's not in the equation. It's transactional, not transformational. And like my thing is the way it is right now. If a guy goes to 5 schools in 5 years, and we have guys doing that, and they're not pros, and they don't have a degree, or even if they do, where do they go back to? Where's the mentor that they meet and find that builds a bridge for them to cross? Where do they bring their kids back to? All right, say, hey, that's my team, that's my school, that's where they have some ownership. Like, who's going to invest in them outside of basketball? Like, to me, where are they going to find their mentor? Someone who invested in them without asking anything in return. I don't know. So we've got to find a way to help these young people, because if not, we're going to have a serious mental health issue. And because these kids are going to make all that money, hopefully they're taking care of it. Parents are quitting their jobs. If they're not taking care of it, all of a sudden now They're living a certain lifestyle. Now they have to go get a regular job and it's making $100,000. They're looking at those paychecks going, what the hell's wrong with that? Or they're going overseas and they're not winning enough. They're getting sent home, or they're in the G League and they realize they're not NBA players. All right. They got a lot of life to live. We got to help these young people. We got to help them. We got to help them understand education. Got to help them understand networking. We got to help them understand building bridges for themselves to cross, to be good husbands and good parents and good community members. And I'm not saying they're not, but we're putting so much into one bucket, like agility. You've got to have the ability to have some type of agility to kind of unplug, plug back in and say, all right, what's my next step in life? And I just think right now it's a little bit unrealistic, but hopefully we'll figure it out, because I deeply care about the players that played for me. Right. And if a kid's going to 5 schools in 5 years, I just think that, those relationships, the player coach relationship is driving a lot of these kids, and it's gonna hurt a lot of these young people.
Well, and I'm glad you said that about education, because for me, when I look at college athletics, especially like when it comes to football, because I'm a huge college football fan, I am a college basketball fan, but the blue chippers, it's not working. I get the best education anymore. It's like, well, Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, who's going to offer me the best NIL deal? And that's where they go now. And then,
that's where they've always gone, though.
Okay.
I mean, like the best. Here's the deal. Everyone says, well, it's not the little guys get the little guy. Look, I was at Virginia Tech. I coached in the ACC. The way we ran our program, our resources, our money, the commitment from the institution. We're in the same league as Duke and Carolina and Maryland at that time, and Virginia and other. Well, we didn't have those resources. Like you can't legislate a level playing field. It's impossible. So it's killing the little guy. The little guy. You know what? It is what it is. Your investment equals your expectation. Why does every mid-major wants to be Gonzaga? Well, you know what? Every mid-major invest in your program like Gonzaga. ECU's done it. They've become competitive year in, year out. Your investment equals your expectation. If you want to be good, then you're going to, you want to be good at anything you do. You want to be good at school, you got to invest in your schoolwork. You want to have a good relationship, you want to have a good marriage, you got to invest in your marriage. You want to be good at whatever you do, you've got to invest time, energy, commitment. So, look, I understand. Yeah, you know what? Forever and ever, the best players have gone to Alabama, Michigan football, Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State. What NIL has done, it's leveled the playing field, like SEC and basketball. Why have they gotten so good? Investment equals expectation. And that's why you can't have just 4 teams in the SEC in the NCAA tournament. That's why you can't have some crazy rule. Well, they don't win certain amount of games in their league. The people they're playing on a daily basis, the Big 12, look at that league. All right, look at the number of teams. Look at the number of players in the Big 12 that are going in the NBA draft this year. So, I mean, it's easy to say it. Like, everyone's got all the answers to say this. It's just not that damn easy.
If you were, let's say, president of the NCAA, or you
I never want that job.
Or what?
You can always have someone bitching at you because everyone thinks they can do your job better than you. It's like coaching.
Always
The one thing I would do is I would find a way to do contracts. Like the federal government has enough issues. They're not getting involved in this thing, because if they give some type of exemption, every single business to go, what, you giving it that, then why can't you give it out? You can't set a precedent.
Right.
Yeah. But you got to find a way to have 5. You got to have. I like the 5 for 5 rule. I think we've got to find a way, in some way, to put education back in, like in contracts. Academic progress, community service, graduation, backloaded incentives to keep these kids in school, to help them protect themselves without them realizing protect themselves. And then buyouts. Have contracts, have buyouts. Hey, I went from Long Beach State to South Florida. I paid about $400,000. I had a buyout. I went from South Florida to Virginia Tech. I paid a buyout. It's got to be a two-way street. Contracts got to be a two-way street. They got to be a win-win and healthy for both parties.
It was interesting. I was just looking it up. Tom Izzo yesterday. Some of the leadership from Michigan State has left. He says he's disgusted. And I'm just trying to find.
Yeah, he's disappointed. Tom's a dear friend. I mean, he thought the world of his president. He had a great AD. And as a head coach, you're only as good as your relationship with your AD and your president. And obviously, Tom Izzo is Michigan State. And, when you make those type of decisions, you would think that the university, the board of regents would, at least consult a person that is legitimately the face of the institution and someone incredibly loyal to the institution. Not that he's going to make the decision, but he's got to be in the circle. And he's disappointed. He's got a really good team, and he's true to his core beliefs and his non-negotiables, but uh, it can't be a popularity contest. Leadership is hard, and like whether you're a president or an athletic director. Now, I loved his AD, and his AD had an incredible relationship with him, and his AD went off and took a better, a job that's going to pay $3 million. He's also got a family to take care of, and and he's, I'm sure he feels like for him and his family, and I'm sure he had a buyout. So, he, again, you got to pay the buyout contract. That's why you have a contract. But yeah, Tom is, I'm sure he's disappointed. I haven't talked to him in the last 2 days, but I had talked to him multiple times about what he feels about his president. I mean, he thought his president was the best president and best ambassador for the institution.
The way the landscape is in college sports, Coach. Look, I think the AP poll and the coaches poll had their day. I say this in football a lot. I think they should just get rid of the AP and the coaches poll. Just let the season play out, and then let the college football playoff committee come out with their rankings like after the 9th game of the season. Do you think they put too much stock and onus into the AP and the coaches poll now? I'm a big proponent of just get rid of them, just let the season play out, and then let them seed the teams where they seed them.
I don't believe in preseason polls, especially now with the transfer portal. No one even knows who's on their team. I mean, it takes time to develop a team chemistry. Polls are just to create conversation. Now they're just for clicks. They're just for. I mean, guys do polls every single day. I mean, if that's what they want to do, I mean, who cares? I mean, they don't mean anything because in the end, you got to win games.
Right.
It's a talking point. So I don't get caught up in all that stuff. I used to be a voter on that stuff. I mean, if you're good, if you're bad, where you stand within your league, kind of what, the best thing that's happened in college basketball is you look at these non-conference games we're playing. College basketball's playing the number of really, really good non-conference games that are being played right now is so good for the game. Now, unfortunately, it's during a window, a lot of them, it's going head to head in college football, but we have great games going on right now in college basketball. And the coaches, because of you're benefiting from playing good schedules, and you're going to lose more games. So you play really good non-conference schedules. Say you play 5 or 6 really tough non-conference games, maybe even 7. All right, if you play in a new era, and then you play in the ACC, SEC, and then you play 2 made-for-TV or NIL games, you might have 7 killer games. And then you're going to go into a league like the SEC, the ACC, the Big Ten, or whatever, and you're going to get your brains beaten every single night because it's who you play, when you play, and where you play them. So, you're going to have more losses. And I like it that the coaches aren't afraid to play these games. So, look, we're our sport, and football's doing the same thing, although I think football will now maybe take a step back because I saw what happened last year with the selection committee. Some teams didn't make it because they played a tougher non-conference schedule. Football's got to figure that out. But football will eventually expand, which if it expands, they should start the season sooner because we don't want it to come into our sport. But we'll see what happens.
Before I let you go here, you're the pizza expert. Give me a pizza that I should try that's like off the beaten path.
I didn't just go anywhere in New York. I'm real simple. I'm thin crust, crispy. Anywhere in New York, get me a good slice, and I'm happy. I'm not a pizza snob. I mean barbecue chicken pizza is nice, but I want a nice, greasy, crispy, good crust piece of pizza. And
Any toppings?
And a Diet Coke. Boom, I'm good.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Seth Greenberg. You know him from ESPN. Coach, thanks for taking the time to come on today.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.
Have a good one.
All
right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Seth Greenberg. yeah, like I said, I don't know what the answer is. I mean, you heard him, he's in the thick of it. So yeah, again, I don't know what the answers are as far as NIL and transfer portal. He gave a couple of suggestions. I see this one comment here that came in, but for some odd reason, it is not letting me bring up comments, and I don't know why. And he said that there was a noise in the background. I don't know where it's coming from. I haven't done anything differently. So that's the power of live podcasting, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, my laptop's been acting up a little bit lately. So yeah, again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I thought 64 teams, as far as the NCAA tournament went, as far as March Madness, I thought that was sufficient. But they keep tinkering with shit. And a partridge in a pear tree. Oh, Fuji checked in. Good morning. It wasn't letting me bring it up before, and I don't know why. So shame on me. Shame on me. But again, thanks to Seth for coming on. So what happened yesterday? Pull it up here on my Verizon pad. Of course, my Verizon pad is now giving me trouble because it won't stay upright. Oh, the U.S. Open is kicking off today. Bunch of players out on the course already. Everybody is at even par. Nobody is like 1 under yet or whatnot. You keep hearing that ding in the background. My laptop is doing some funky shit right now. Let me go to the World Cup, by the way. Scores from yesterday. Austria beat Jordan 3-1. Portugal and the Congo DR, they tied 1 piece. Of course, Portugal. They're getting ready to. Fans are getting ready to jump off a bridge. England beat Croatia 4-2. Ghana beat Panama 1-0. Kind of a surprise. And Colombia over Uzbekistan 3-1. So that completed the first round matchups. Today at 12 p.m., it's Czechia and South Africa, both looking for a win or a tie. Switzerland plays Bosnia and Herzegovina. Canada plays Qatar, and then Mexico plays South Korea. Some news and headlines from around the world in sports. Reported by ESPN. Trae Young for the Wizards. Applying the option, he's going to be a free agent. Traded to the Wizards. He does not want to stay there, obviously, because probably wants to be part of a winning team, not part of the rebuilding project. New York Knicks owner James Dolan, he said he won't go into a second apron to keep the Knicks intact. Reported by Vincent Goodwill, ESPN. Dolan said on WFAN in New York, we cannot go into the second apron. I don't know if we'll be able to, he said. We're willing to stretch, but there's certain things in the NBA that you have to be suicidal to do. One of them is the second apron. That's just who he is. University of Cincinnati has denied his Sorsby's agent's claims that it knew of Sorsby's gambling. Reported by David Pert on ESPN. Cincinnati said in a statement, we will reiterate what we have said before. All of our student athletes receive extensive gambling education multiple times throughout the year, and we would never knowingly play an athlete who violated NCAA sports wagering regulation. If we ever became aware of impermissible wagering, we would report to the NCAA and comply with sanctions. Again, and I'll say that I forgot to bring this up with with Seth Greenberg. You're going to see more and more of this with the gambling. NIL deals, got some extra, the dead presidents. They're going to come up with ways to gamble. I don't care who it is. They can fake dummy accounts. I'm sure they can go online, how to, come up with a dummy account. You're going to see more and more of this, period. And it's going to become a problem. Let me jump to Major League Baseball. Scores from yesterday. Giants beat the Braves 7-2. The Mets all over the Reds 9-1. Royals over the Nationals 6-2. Marlins hammered Phillies 12-4. Astros over the Tigers 4-2. Padres over the Cardinals 6-1. Dodgers over the Rays 5-4. Diamondbacks beat the Angels 8-1. Blue Jays over the Sox. That would be the Red Sox 3-0. Yankees over the White Sox 10-5. Giants over the Braves 7-5. Brewers over the Guardians 9-4. Cubs beat the Rockies 8-6. Orioles over the Mariners 5-3, and the Pirates over the Athletics 12-4. On the slate tonight, Blue Jays at the Red Sox, Guardians at the Brewers, Twins at the Rangers, Orioles at the Mariners, Mets at the Phillies, White Sox at the Yanks, Giants at the Braves, Cardinals at the Royals, Angels are at the Athletics. WNBA scores from yesterday. The Mystics beats the Sun, beats them 88-81. Liberty squeaked past the Sky 96-95. The Valkyries are over the Wings 91-80. Lynx hammered the Sparks 99-83. Aces bested Mercury 86-76. And the Fire over the Storm 94-89. One game on tap tonight. That would be the Dream and the Fever. Catch the Fever. Men's College World Series. Yesterday, Oklahoma beat number 3 Georgia 11-4. They advanced to the championship game. And number 5 North Carolina over number 16 West Virginia 12-7. On Saturday starts the final in the World Series with Oklahoma playing number 5 North Carolina. North Carolina looking for their first ever College World Series championship. Let's see what else. Oh, the NASCAR boys. They're at the Naval Base Coronado out there in San Diego. I wish NASCAR would stop doing stupid shit like this. Yes, it's a good thing as far as the military goes, but not a big component. And let's just wish they would go back to the way it used to be, It's a road course specialist, AJ Allmendinger, Shane Van Gisbergen. So those would be the favorites. Went over the World Cup schedule. Tomorrow's World Cup schedule is this. United States plays Australia, Scotland plays Morocco, Brazil plays Haiti, and Turkey plays Canada. So I think that's going to do it there. Quick show. Again, though, thanks to Seth Greenberg for joining. Fantastic when I can get guests like him. Again, people who are in the thick of it. He eats, breathes, and sleeps college basketball. So thanks to him. So, thanks to everybody who tunes in live. Thanks for Fuji tuning in earlier. Sorry, for some reason, like I said, it wasn't letting me bring up comments earlier. I don't know why. Just because technology has a way of shoving a red hot poker up my ass constantly. I mean, it's painful. So, with all that being said, as I end each show, practice compassion, practice empathy, have passion for what you do. Hug somebody every once in a while. You might make their day. Tell somebody you love them. You might not get a second opportunity. And for God's sakes, you see somebody struggling in whatever fashion, ask questions, inquire. How can you help them? How can you get them help? Because you might not just be saving a life, you might be saving a multitude of lives. With all that being said, enjoy the weekend's festivities. Enjoy the World Cup. Enjoy baseball, whatever you're watching. Enjoy the golf. Enjoy your NASCAR race. There's only one thing left for me to do, and that's for Dandy Don Meredith to take me out. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.